What is up, everyone? Welcome to a new year of Dead with My Friends podcast. I am your co-host, Steve.
And I'm your co-host, Nick.
And on this episode, we're going to celebrate January Giallo with talking none other than, you know his name, Dario Argento, one of the best in the Giallo genre, Tenebrae. So as we mentioned before, we wanted to get more into January Giallo. That's a thing amongst collectors in the genre and film watchers where a lot of people partake in watching Giallo films. I know like the people at Cinematic Void, they do a lot of screenings for January Giallo every year. Nick, you're a big Giallo guy. I'm not as much as a big Giallo fan, but there are ones that I do like. And you had, thrown the idea of let's get on some Giallo, to kick off the new year. And I was
because as long as we've been doing the show, we haven't done any Giallo.
We've done like Giallo adjacent, American Giallo
adjacent shit,
not pure Italian Giallo,
And I do like me some fucking Giallo films, man. I haven't seen every one, but I've seen
a good amount.
What I need to see. Yeah, I've seen a good amount, and I'm always venturing. There's just so much out there, man. And one of the best to do it was Dario Argento.
Yeah. I mean, it started
him and Mario Bava.
Yeah, I think like Mario Bava started it, and then like Argento took it to new heights. Especially with Dario Argento's first film, Bird with the Crystal Plumage. I think that really upped it after what Mario Bava did with Blood and Black Lace. And, other early Giallo films. I mean, these are the proto-slashers that would later come in the U.S.
Yeah, for sure. So, there's a lot of speculation and people get kind of divided when they talk about what the first Giallo is. And some people say it's Bird with the Crystal Plumage or Blood and Black Lace. Blood and Black Lace definitely beforehand. And then there's The Evil Eye, also known as the Girl Who Knew Too Much, which was a Mario Bava film from the 60s, which came before Blood and Black Lace. So it kind of set the expectation for what Blood and Black Lace would eventually come to be. I personally think Blood and Black Lace is the best Giallo. I'm just going to go and say it. I think it's the best one. I love it. We have to cover it probably next year. I think it's such a beautiful looking film for its time.
Let me ask you this. Did Ennio Morricone do the score?
Did he?
I don't know. I
don't think so. I don't know.
I know he scored a lot of early Giallo.
Ennio Morricone did Bird with the Crystal Plumage.
Okay.
He did do the score for that. No, Blood and Black Lace. Carlo Rusticelli. Yeah, pretty cool. But yeah, no, I love Blood and Black Lace. I think it's a phenomenal film. It's my favorite one for sure. I think it's definitely the best one.
Would you say that one started the whole Black Gloves and Black coat? And,
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that set the formula up, and then Dario Argento just ran with it.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, Dario Argento, he did Bird with the Crystal Plumage, and then he went on to do Deep Red, and then he took some time away from Giallo films.
Yeah, he was getting more into supernatural horror. And his reasoning was every director in Italy was doing a Giallo every year, so he was a little burnt out. But the film we're talking about today, Tenebrae, was his return to Giallo.
Yeah, and it was a very good return.
I was going to just say, what a return he made. I mean, I like Deep Red. That's a good one. Bird with the Crystal Plumage, I have to revisit. I've only seen it once. It's been a long time. I have a basic Arrow copy.
That was actually the first Giallo that I had ever seen. And then I started venturing into all the other ones.
My first was Torso because of the iconic trailer Eli Roth had talked about it in What's in My Basket.
Mm-hmm.
So I got it through Blue Underground, like when I first got a Blu-ray player in 2011 for Christmas. And Torso, A Bay of Blood, because I'd heard like people say like that inspired the Friday the 13th, the first two with the kills and everything.
Ripped it off.
Yeah.
I always say ripped it off.
Or I'm sorry, did I say that inspired? Friday the 13th ripped off A Bay of Blood. Correction. And so I wanted to go back. And again, the iconic trailer for Torso where they just say torso.
Yeah, they keep repeating it.
You see like the hacksaw and this like ski mask kind of killer. I was like, yeah, I want to check this out.
Yeah, man. There's so many good films out there that are just like the whodunits, man. Like Scream being one of them. I've joked in a previous episode saying that Scream is a Giallo. It definitely has elements of it.
There are little elements. Yeah. I mean,
it pays homage to it in
Giallo
some ways as well.
purists would be like, what the fuck are you talking
about? Yeah, no, absolutely not. They'll be like, what the fuck are you talking about,
but,
man?
There are little elements in there.
So Giallo adjacent, I guess we can say, right?
Yeah.
And that's why I'm wearing this shirt, because I was like, what do I have that's like kind of the closest thing to a Giallo?
Yeah, I don't have any.
And it's just, this is it. This is Scream 2. So, but yeah, no, I'm excited to talk about this. This was Dario Argento's first Giallo back after doing Suspiria and Inferno. And, he was doing, I guess, what he calls the Three Mothers trilogy, and in which he did not end up completing it until later on in life with Mother of Tears. So I think that this was a great comeback. I think that this is a very strong film from kind of every aspect. I think visually it looks great. I think it's got great kills. I love the music by Goblin.
Yeah.
Even though it's like they're not credited as Goblin,
but it's Claudio Simonetti.
Yeah, it's everybody in Goblin besides one member. So I guess they were just kind of like, because they disbanded like a couple years beforehand.
Okay.
But, yeah, Dario Argento, I guess, came to them and was like, I want you guys to do to do Tenebrae for me. And, there's a little bit of, I don't know, because I guess there was some shit going on within the band. But I'm glad that they came back, at least some of the members to do the score for this, because I really do like the score.
Dude,
and the acting is great in this as well.
The main, theme got stuck in my head after watching this for a couple of days.
Yeah, for sure.
And there's another musical cue that Massacre Video uses as their little intro where it shows Massacre Video and it's all wavy and Massacre Video logo comes up, and it's taken from it's definitely taken from here.
Oh, okay.
I was like, that sounds familiar, and then I was like, oh, okay, Massacre Video uses that.
Yeah, I think that they also use. Because Goblin did Dawn of the Dead, right?
Yep.
There's two parts in here where there's two pieces of that score used in this film. I can't remember exactly which parts they are, but yeah, they used those as well. So that's cool too.
Yeah.
But I'm ready to get into talking about this, man.
Yeah, man. Give us a synopsis and then let's drop the trailer and get right into this.
Sounds good. All right. So the synopsis for Dario Argento's Tenebrae.
Are you going to read
1982.
The back of the box right up?
Let's quickly,
let's show off. I have the Synapse Film 4K UHD box set.
And I have the Arrow Video. Now, this is actually highly desirable.
Is that still in the seal?
No, I slipped aside.
It just gotcha.
Yeah. Now, what Arrow Video does, mostly I've seen with the Dario Argento releases, is the 4K ones, is they do the original artwork variants of them, and they sell out and go out of print very quickly. So I missed out on this, and then later on, and I was able to get it for a decent price. But the hardest one to find is Phenomena.
Yeah, I have the basic limited edition box set of Phenomena, not the 4K UHD, but
I know the one you're talking about.
Yeah.
The original artwork one,
Mhm.
arte original, however you say that, it goes for a lot of money. It's like
Yeah.
300-400 bucks on
Holy
fucking,
shit.
yeah. So I might just have to suck it up and get. I think Synapse has another version of it, right?
Yeah, they do.
I'm gonna have to suck it up and because I ain't fucking dropping that. I got this for $90 and brand new. It probably went for like 50. So I can.
Yeah, I think I got this for like 64 off a Diabolic DVD.
Yeah. You were saying though that like you preferred the other artwork for this, right?
Yeah, with what's her name? Elsa. It's got the razor to her throat with the page of Tenebrae stuck in her mouth. Yeah.
Have you ever seen the censored version of this? They put a fucking they have a ribbon around
oh the gosh. I heard like the UK like poster was
well,
like,
the Video Nasties. This was on the Video Nasties.
Yep.
So as you'd
soft
expect,
as fuck.
It's heavily violent, but it's great. Like fuck that. Video
Hell
Nasties. We should talk about Video Nasties do an episode on that.
Yeah, that would be fun.
Yeah, talking all the Video Nasties films and shit. So all right, I guess I'll read the write-up on the back of the Arrow video. I don't know. I think maybe the other write-up I have is better.
Okay. Hey, if you think it's the other write-up's better, then go with that one.
I think the other write-up's better. All right. So, Dario Argento's Tenebrae, 1982. Peter Neal, a popular American crime novelist, travels to Rome to promote his new book, Tenebrae. Soon after he arrives, a series of murders begin unfolding that mirrors scenes from his writing. Neil becomes entangled in the investigation while receiving taunting messages from the killer. The violence escalates as past secrets surface, leading to the final twist that shifts the entire perspective of the story.
Filthy, slimy pervert.
I've read all your books, Mr. Neal. The book deals with a murder committed with an old-fashioned open razor, right? This girl, too, was killed with a razor, and your book's pages stuffed into her mouth.
Can I ask you something? If someone is killed with a Smith & Wesson revolver, do you go and interview the president of Smith & Wesson?
Peter, you can't let me down now. We're within 2 days of making a deal. Please, stay just until Friday.
My life is in danger. There's no deal in the world worth risking my life for.
Not anxiety or fear, but freedom. You wrote those words, page 46. Freedom to strike again, Peter.
Listen, don't hang up. We have to talk.
You told me how, Peter Neal. You and me together. We've just begun.
Jesus.
Time. Spy. Damn little spy.
Peter?
Oh.
Come on, hurry.
Oh, my head.
You'll be okay. We've got to get out of here. The guy has an axe. Could it be somebody I know? Damn. I wish I'd never written that book.
You don't mean that.
I've made charts. I've tried building a plot the same way you have. Tried to figure it out, but I just have this hunch that something is missing. A tiny piece of the jigsaw. Somebody who should be dead is alive, or somebody who should be alive is already dead.
Explain that.
You know, there's a sentence in a Conan Doyle book. When you have eliminated the impossible, whatever remains, however improbable, must be the truth.
So a cool thing about Tenebrae is this is inspired by things that Dario Argento was going through. He was getting a lot of like claims for misogyny and stuff with his work. And he was also at the time working in LA getting calls at his hotel by an obsessed fan who said that his work ruined his life. So those things going on really inspired this movie. And I find that like very interesting to draw that real life inspiration into this.
Putting it in that perspective, like he is Peter Neal, because Peter Neal is dealing with those same things. Because for one, the killer in this film mentions those things. And also he's pressed during certain interviews as well about those things. And he starts to say how his work is now being misinterpreted.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I mean, like Dario Argento also, he was saying how his films and writing were being misinterpreted as well. Because it was like violent towards women.
And a lot of it is like he was basing off of like things that were going on in like urban Italy and like the dangers and like women being in danger. He was talking about that. And I was watching some of the extras where on this and, in certain interviews where he was being, he mentioned being criticized for being misogynistic with, the female victims and stuff and how brutally they're murdered.
Yeah, it's great that he pulled from all those inspirations because he made a very great movie out of it. And it's always fun when life imitates his art,
Yeah, absolutely.
So to get into Tenebrae a little bit, the movie opens up with the Black Glove Killer ripping out pages of Peter Neal's Tenebrae, and he's speaking certain areas of the book, and he's burning the pages, and he ends up throwing the book in the fire. And didn't you say that in the Italian version, Dario Argento is the one that's doing the voice?
In the Unsane cut.
Oh, is he?
He does a narration. Dario Argento does like a narration in the beginning.
Oh, and it's also worth saying that there's two different cuts of this movie as well. There's an original version, which is, heavily uncensored, and then there's an Unsane version, which was heavily censored.
Which I don't get why they would call it Unsane when it's so heavily censored. Well, not heavily. It's more tame.
It's pretty censored, man.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it is pretty censored.
It's got a lot of jump cuts to it. It kind of tones back a lot of the kills and gore.
Yeah. So if you've never seen Tenebrae, watch the original Italian cut.
Yeah, I would say definitely skip the Unsane version for sure. So then after the title sequence, we meet Peter Neal. He's biking to JFK Airport, and he's getting ready to leave to go to Rome for his book tour. And while he is in the airport, he over the loudspeaker, he's brought to one of the front desks, and he receives a call from his wife, Jane. So he sets his bag down, and a woman takes the bag, then puts it back once Peter is done. And then as time goes on, we find out that they fucked with the bag. They ripped up some of the clothing in there. They broke a gift that he had for his assistant, Anne. So once, we're out of the JFK scene, we are in Rome, and there's a girl who's in a bookstore, and her name is Elsa, and she ends up stealing a copy of Tenebrae. And then she ends up getting away with it because she flirts with the department store manager and all this, gives her address and everything like that. And this kill sets the whole tone for the film. So she was running from a homeless guy, and then he's already in the house.
Yeah. He's shoving.
So he kind of sees himself as like this Christian crusader in a sense.
Yeah, he's trying to get rid of perversion and corrupt.
Exactly.
Classic.
So he bases all of his kills based on that.
Yeah. And that actress, she was in a lot of Fulci, well, not a lot, but a couple of Fulci films, notably House by the Cemetery. She's the housekeeper, Anne.
Yeah, she has a very distinct look to her.
Yeah,
because
her
of
eyes, they're very piercing. Very,
Yeah.
like, yeah, that's one of her, like, most notable features.
So once Peter Neal gets to Rome, he is approached by the head inspector on the case. I think his name is Germani.
I believe so, yeah.
Something like that, yeah. And he's talking to Peter about how, just a couple hours ago there was a girl who was murdered, and pages of Tenebrae were pushed down her throat. And this is kind of shocking to Peter Neal, as it would be to anybody, because
yeah, he literally just got there. He did a press conference, and he was actually pressed by a journalist who he had worked with in the States in New York for like 10 years. And she's like,
Tilda.
Yeah, she's like calling him out for his work, being like saying he's misogynistic. And he's like, I've known you for 10 years. And it was like, she's like, I'm not saying you personally, but your work is very misogynistic. And,
it's an interesting scene, though, because it seems to get a little heated between them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then once she's done asking the questions, they're like friends again. So I don't know if she was just like being funny and trying to kind of,
I think she was putting on her integrity journalistic face, if that's the right phrasing.
I see what you're saying. Yeah.
She was trying to hit the hard-hitting questions. And
because he says to her, he's like, "Oh, you're doing a good job," and she's like, "I'm trying." And then they like have a hug and a kiss and all this.
Yeah. And then she's like, he asked her about her mom and to come visit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, there is a gentleman who is sitting in on the press conference, and he's watching Peter.
He's a TV reporter, Cristiano.
Yeah, he's got a talk show host or whatever, and he is not saying much, but he's watching Peter intently.
See him scoff a little bit too.
Yeah, and we're also introduced to Peter's agent, played none other than John Saxon. And
John Saxon, man, you wouldn't think,
him.
but he was in The Evil Eye.
Mm-hmm.
Mario Bava's The Evil Eye.
Yeah, he's
early
on quite a lot of giallos and Italian horror.
Dude, that's awesome. I wonder, do you have any idea, what his connection was to, I
don't know. I think Italy just loved John Saxon.
It's interesting,
I do. Come
John
on.
Saxon's
it's fucking,
cool.
Nightmare on Elm Street, Enter the Dragon, fucking Black Christmas. I love John Saxon in Black Christmas.
Damn. Now that you mention it,
if John Saxon's in it, I'm like, all right, let's go.
It makes you want to watch it more.
It does.
Sure.
It does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah. Then from here,
well, he gets the letter. There's a letter slipped under his door of the apartment that he's staying at in Rome, and he reads it, and it's a passage from his book. And the captain and his assistant inspector are like, "What's up with that?"
Right, and he's like, I want you to tell me, when you receive these, because I know that you're going to end up receiving more and more of them. So it's like the letter, and then later on,
Peter gets a phone call.
Yeah, he receives a phone call, which just kind of proves more how this killer is killing based off of his book. And I think he kind of thinks that him and Peter Neal are on the same page.
Mm-hmm.
But, as we mentioned earlier on, his work is being misinterpreted even by this killer.
Yeah. And even the captain says he's a fan of his work and has read his books.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. And normally he could figure out who the killer is in the books,
Yeah, and he's like very early on, but he has yet to figure out who the killer is in Tenebrae.
Yeah.
So I like the scene though. I think that the scene could have been a lot better, in my opinion, was the phone call scene. So Peter Neal gets the phone call and he's talking to the killer who's whispering these things to him. And he looks outside at a phone booth and the killer is down there speaking to him. And he mentions the girl, Elsa, the murder. And he's like, how did you know that?
Yeah.
Who's with you? And then he hangs up the phone and then they all run. The inspector runs outside. Dude, this could have been a really cool scene for a chase.
Yeah.
Like them chasing the killer and then losing him.
I guess
in-
maybe
in-
it was
in the
just too
streets
early
of,
on to have a chase scene for the killer.
I don't know. It could have been cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, like just like the black glove killer with the trench coat and the hat and them chasing him and then losing him in the streets of Italy.
Okay. All right.
I think that could have been cool. Also, one thing I want to point out about Tenebrae is, so Tenebrae itself like translates to shadows or darkness, right? But the way that this film is shot is very bright
Yeah.
in almost every way.
And there's a lot of daytime scenes.
And there's a lot of daytime scenes.
Yeah.
And the killer really isn't shrouded in darkness like all the other Giallo films, really, you know?
Yeah.
So going into the next kill, probably one of the best ones in the film because it's a double kill, but the thing most of all about it is the crane tracking shot
yeah,
that's
which
in it.
So in the US releases, and I think maybe in the Unsane cut, they wanted that cut down. They thought it went on for like too long.
Well, it went on for 2.5 minutes.
Dario Argento fought to have that scene like kept in.
It was very expensive and it was very hard to do. So I definitely agree with his fight for trying to keep that in, or actually keeping that in.
Well, for its time, it's a very innovative shot. And also, we didn't mention, but Peter Neal's secretary, assistant, is the actress is someone who is in a lot of Dario Argento movies, and it is
Daria Nicolodi.
Yes, and
Nicolodi.
her and Dario Argento were married for quite a bit at the time on his run of these movies.
They have a kid together.
Oh, I didn't know that they actually had a kid together too.
Yeah, Asia
Okay.
Argento, famous.
She was in like some of his later works, right? Or is that the other daughter? I know he has like more than one.
No, she was. Yeah, no, I'm pretty sure she was in. I know she was in The Church, because Soavi's The Church. She was in his films too. Yeah,
I think the Stetinol Syndrome, maybe.
I can't.
Yeah,
remember right
it's drawn a blank, but maybe.
But yeah, no, they were lovers. She was in Inferno.
She was in Deep Red.
She was in Deep Red, and I'm pretty sure she has some writing credits for Suspiria.
Okay.
I think she helped Dario Argento write Suspiria.
Yeah.
And that was apparently like that was a big thing as to why like she may or may not have wanted to come back to Tenebrae, because her and Dario had some issues with writing credits for Suspiria. So, and there was also a little bit of tension from what I read with the main actor who plays Peter Neal.
Okay.
And Dario Argento.
Interesting.
Because Dario Argento kind of felt like, I can't remember his name, but the dude who plays Peter Neal was trying to put the moves on Daria.
Oh,
Nicolodi.
interesting. Because
Yeah.
in there is a bit of a romantic relationship with those two characters.
Right. Well, they have a scene
Yeah.
that got Dario Argento very mad, even though he wrote the scene and casted his girlfriend in the scene. But the fact that it got too passionate looking got him pissed.
Yeah.
So he stopped the whole scene and everything like that.
funny.
And yeah.
But yeah.
I mean,
Moving on back to this crane shot where we have the one female reporter. Now, she was out before with, I'm going to guess, like her live-in girlfriend, housemate.
it's her girlfriend.
It is her
Yeah,
girlfriend.
it's her
who
girlfriend.
also likes to sleep with men as well. She ends up, while they're out, she's like loaded drunk, and she picks up a guy playing an arcade machine and
brings him back.
And she, the female journalist. She comes back after the whole affair had happened, and she's pissed. She's not about it. She's like, "You're a slut." This, that, and the other.
Yeah, because I think also she like tried like so her name is Tilda, and then the other girl, her name is Marion, and I think Marion was kind of like rubbing.
She's on the cover right here.
Yeah, even though that's like not her.
No,
it's just like an artist rendition of her.
Yeah,
but that's the scene where she gets killed. In
she's also. Let's see. Hold on. I'm just trying to think. So here
They have a famous. Let me see. It might be in the lobby cards.
I'm looking through my booklet too, because there's a very famous shot of
her with the razor blade. This one.
Yes, there we go. Yep, that's a very great shot.
Yeah,
I'd love to see that on a shirt.
Maybe.
Yeah, that's a great shot right there. And then also, the female reporter, right here on my booklet, another iconic shot.
Yeah. Yep. So all this happens within their apartment. So I want to just show the crane shot quick.
Yeah.
I'm not doing the 2.5 minute version.
No.
But towards the end of the shot, we see the killer breaking in.
Yeah, we see him clipping the shutters, so the killer could get in.
So the music right here is interesting because it's part of the score, but Marion upstairs is playing a Goblin record.
Yeah.
So
the main title, or the main theme of Tenebrae.
So Tilda is getting pissed because she's cranking the music upstairs. There's a killer breaking in. And then once he breaks in, we have the Tilda death.
She's putting on a shirt right now.
Yeah, she's putting on a shirt. And then the killer comes back behind her and grabs her, helping her pull the shirt
black
down.
glove, turns her around. Boom, cuts through the shirt. There's the iconic shot and that blood spray. It's good stuff. With the main theme playing.
And then Marion upstairs hears the crash from the statue, so she comes downstairs to see what's going on. And I really like this because when she comes down the stairs in the reflection,
sees the reflection from the mirror.
Love it.
Yeah, this is a great shot. When she
Killer
gets
slashes her in the back.
Yep, right in the back. Immobilizes her a bit, and then boom, right to the throat. That's another thing, right? So her head falls through like the mirror. There's something about in Italian horror, and we've got the killer taking pictures of his work.
That's so creepy to me.
Well, of the killer taking the pictures. So it's
like, you could just like go and revisit your work and
admire
shit, you know?
it. Yeah. But going back to Mary, is it Marion?
Marion, yeah.
Yeah. So her kill. One, I noticed a trope and maybe not just in Giallo, but Italian horror too, is like a victim's head falling through glass. There's
Suspiria.
Yep, Suspiria.
It happens in Suspiria.
I think A Blade in the Dark. Deep Red. A Blade in the Dark. I think it happens too in the shower.
What do you think it is?
I don't know. I just think it's a little bit.
What?
I don't know.
Like the fascination with the broken glasses.
I guess just.
It's dramatic.
It's dramatic. There you go. That's it. It's just way more dramatic. It's definitely a trope though in Italian horror, especially in Giallo.
I've seen it a lot. Yeah. Now that you mention it, interesting. Does Fulci do it at all? Can you think of any Fulci shit?
I'm trying to think. Maybe.
Fulci's kind of done it all though.
Yeah, he's dabbled in. I mean, he has a couple of Giallo, and then like got more into like once Zombie hit, he was like, oh, I'm going full gore.
Well, look, I'm glad that Fulci came up real quick because look, I've seen other than The Psychic.
Boring.
That's a Giallo, right?
Yeah, boring.
Okay. I've seen his
and
other
this is
ones.
Coming from a giant Fulci fan. Like, I'm more Fulci than Argento.
I'm glad that he went the route that he ended up going because Giallo wasn't his wheelhouse.
Yeah, because you said Lizard and Woman Skin was boring. But I will say,
boring. It was good, but
don't torture a duckling.
Is good.
Is amazing. I love that movie so much.
It's good. That was the only good one that he did.
Yeah. I still got to see Murder Rock. That's a Giallo.
Yes, I'm gonna grab Murder Rock eventually as well.
Yeah.
I haven't seen that one either. So I take back. I haven't seen all his.
And maybe
all his
The
Giallo. Devil's
Honey. Maybe, because I own a copy, but I haven't watched it yet. I have a Severn Films copy.
Well, there's still, time for January Giallo for you. So.
Oh yeah, definitely. So I will. I want to revisit Bird with the Crystal Plumage. I think I'm gonna watch Devil's Honey. I'm gonna look into it to make sure it's a Giallo. Revisit that or watch that finally because I have a sealed copy, and then I think I don't know. We got some other things in the work for January Giallo. So before those two kills that we just talked about between the female journalist and her partner, we do get a scene of a silhouette of someone that looks to be having a bit of a mental breakdown, and they start taking pills. And then we're given this flashback, it seems, of a woman on a beach.
Yeah, it's very dreamy too. It's very dreamy.
And she's surrounded by all these men. And, it looks like she's about to have a gangbang go on pretty much on the beach here. But one of these guys is like not about it. And I think he like hits her,
smacks her in the
face. And then all of the other guys like gang up and hold him down. And she's like kicking this guy in the balls and then puts her red heel in his mouth. And it's just like, all right, what's the story with that?
Yeah. And I feel like that kind of adds to just some kind of deep regression in somebody in the film. But the thing is those two things, even though the scene happens kind of simultaneously, it's different. It's happening to two different people.
Yes.
Yeah. Because there is a big twist in this.
Oh, yeah.
As in, most of all of Dario Argento's films, there's a big twist in this. So after that Marion kill, we see kind of like the killer's lair. We see the photograph of Elsa. We see him developing the film of Marion and Tilda. And we see that he's kind of creating a bit of a dossier on pretty much people that he can kill, people that correspond to passages in Tenebrae in the book. And he's like now pinning photos to those. So I don't know, man. It's like he's creating his own work of art.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, he's got some files. He's got photos of women for his next victim. And it looks like after
he's going for a prostitute now.
Yeah. And it focuses on him locking up his lair, but we see that the key is
he left it.
Because
he's about out of the car.
Yep. He gets out of the car and he goes and he reaches in his pocket and he realizes the killer, realizes like forgot the keys. So he goes back. Now, while this is going on, we're briefly introduced to this young woman. I think her name's Maria. And
Gianni. And Gianni is he's kind of like the assistant to the assistant. He's kind of like Anne's assistant, even though Anne is Peter's assistant. And Maria, her father runs the hotel. So he sends her on his errands. So I'm pretty sure she's the one that brings Peter Neal his typewriter.
She brings the typewriter and fixes his hot water to show him like to turn on the switch.
Yeah, but her and Gianni, I guess, have a bit of history because they end up going out together, and she jumps on the back of his dirt bike and all this shit. And then later on, we see that they have a fight, and then he has her get off the bike. He rides away. Now she's alone.
Yeah.
And this is a cool scene because of the dog, the chase scene
Yo,
with the
that
dog.
fucking dog was on a mission, man.
Yeah.
That dog itself could have been the fucking killer. Like, straight up, I never seen a dog so persistent. The way it was scaling the fences to chase after her, and she ends up at some nice, luxurious home. And it turns out to be the killer's lair because while trying to escape the dog, she goes down and sees, like, unlocks the door. And this is where she discovers, like, all the photos and the files. Here we go. Yeah. And she's all fucked up from the dog.
Yeah. And I mean, she's seeing like very scary fucking images. Like
Yeah.
those are photos from the killer,
Yeah.
you know, like
Look, she's holding her throat too, like, oh.
I know. And then she starts taking pieces of it, stuffing them in her pocket. Because I guess she like realizes, she's like, okay, like this is like evidence. This is.
Yeah. After that, she goes up. She's in the home of the killer.
And she's exploring a little bit more. So she should proceed a little bit more cautiously, in which like she really doesn't.
No.
She like goes upstairs and she finds a phone, and then she's calling for help. And then
Spy.
the killer enters.
Yeah.
And then we have Maria's death.
Yep.
Little spy.
Yeah. Yeah, we just see a black silhouette. Boom. The straight razor and black gloves. Yeah, approaching her. And this is a good chase scene too. Like, because the door closes on the killer's hand. The killer loses the straight razor into the pond.
And he picks up an axe.
An axe.
Which kind of becomes the dominant weapon for the rest of the film.
Which is a cool little switch up. I like it. Yeah, now the killer's pursuing her in the backyard. Of course, trying to climb the fence. Oh, fence breaks. And this is great because she fell over. And boom, right to the gut. Oh, yeah.
Poor girl.
Yeah.
Yeah,
An
she had a
axe to the
very
gut.
brutal one. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's funny too because like right after like the landscaper or someone like is mowing a lawn and you just see like all of the pictures and the torn up papers and they're just mowing until they get to Maria's body. Now I wonder, like, was the person landscaping, was that like on a different set of property, or is it the killer's property? Because then I'd be like, look, I'm the landscaper and I found this body.
Or what if it was the killer?
Oh, you're right. We just see hands in the lawnmower pushing, right?
Right.
Yeah, you're right.
It could be the killer. You know,
But they do
like-
discover that
like the-
Maria's body. No, they discover though that Maria's been found dead.
But it also doesn't necessarily raise that much suspicion as far as like the location where it happened, though.
Yeah,
You know, because Gianni and Peter, they end up going there, but for different reasons.
Yeah, because so he's doing some detective work himself. He's like,
He's an author.
He's an author. He's trying to narrow down like all of the possible suspects. And when he is on Cristiano's talk show, Peter makes mention that Cristiano has like a lot of details about him and says a lot of like odd things towards him and his work.
And isn't there something in one of the letters that he remembers that Cristiano mentions, like verbatim? And
I
he's
believe
like,
so.
He said this exactly. He said this exactly this way.
Yeah.
So he starts to get suspicious of him, and then he pulls out a map, and he sees that Cristiano lives only 3 blocks away.
Yeah.
So him and Gianni,
They go
decide
do a
to
little
go
detective work and stake
to do a
out.
little, yeah.
Yep.
So this is a real, this is a pivotal scene in the film.
Yeah. All right,
So this is Cristiano.
Yep.
In his home.
And he's being surprised by someone. We hear, boom, axe to the head. And Gianni sees it all. And he's like, oh, fuck. You know, putting yourself in that perspective, like you just witnessed a brutal murder. And then the killer throws, something towards the window and shatters that.
Yeah, like a statue.
I would have been fucking running.
Yeah, and he doesn't really haul it out of there too much, but as he's running out, because him and Peter go, but Gianni goes more towards the sliding glass door to see like what's going on. So him and Peter kind of split up.
Yeah.
But when he goes back, Peter is laying on the ground, knocked out. Somebody hit him with a fucking rock.
Yeah.
But Cristiano, in that scene, admits to being the killer. He says, yes, it was me. I killed all those girls.
Yeah, which at first Gianni doesn't put it together, but he starts to think about it more because the captain and all of the police, they show up and Peter's summoned there.
Yes.
And so they go back over, even though Gianni doesn't really want to. But as they're heading back over, Gianni starts to remember some details and mentions like that Cristiani says like, I killed those women. And then it's like, okay, but who killed Cristiano?
So, I mean, overall, they've now determined and settled that Cristiano was the killer.
Yeah.
So I don't think the main police force per se is, I don't know. They just don't really seem like too concerned on the fact of like who killed him.
Yeah.
Right?
In a sense, yeah. There's definitely some loose ends going on.
Well, actually, you know what? No, I take that back. Because now Peter Neal is more concerned because there's still the killer out there. Because somebody killed Cristiano, so there's still a killer at large. So he decides that he wants to leave Rome.
Yeah, he wants to leave Rome, and even like the captain was like, "Please don't leave your apartment that you're staying at here, like, because you're next at this point. The killer is going to come for you,
right?"
And
because he says it in the letter. He says it in one of the letters that he's going to be like the final kill.
Also, while this is going on, Peter's assistant spots Jane, Peter's wife, and she's like, what is she doing here? And Jane's acting like very suspicious. She's like stalking Peter, calling from phone booths, which, one thing about Giallos is the red herrings.
Right.
Or, you could always have a lot of suspects.
It could be anybody.
Could it be Jane? Could it, you know what I mean?
Right. Could be Jane, could be Anne, could be Gianni.
Yeah.
You never know.
It
could even be the police captain.
It could. And that's the thing about Giallos is figuring out, or who done it is who done it. Who's the fucking killer?
And I love that. I love uncovering the mystery, because now moving on to our next scene, it kind of flips things a little bit, because John Saxon, Bulmer, is Peter Neal's agent.
Yeah.
And, like you mentioned, we have glimpses of Jane throughout the movie.
Yep.
So Peter decides he wants to leave Rome. And I said to you the other day, I wanted to see like kind of when the turning point of this film is. Now, yes, when Cristiano gets killed but admits to being the killer, that changes it a bit. But I kind of feel like this scene changes it a lot more, because Peter goes there and he's talking to his agent and he says, hey, listen, like, I'm kind of fearing for my life now and I want to get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
Now, if his agent cared about him, he would tell him, yeah, no, I think that's a good idea. But no, he tells him, no, you should stay. We're getting close to hitting a fucking deal.
Yep.
Like, come on, man. And he's like, all right, how about, you just get a place and only me and you are going to be the ones who are going to know like where it is.
Yeah.
So Peter's like, no, I'm going to go.
Yep.
So Peter hops on a plane and goes to Rome, but we find out that his agent Bulmer, John Saxon, and Jane are having an affair.
Yep. It's because she comes out from this back door
and heard the whole thing, the whole conversation
in Bulmer's office, and she comes out and it's just the reveal of this big affair, and they're supposed to meet for lunch at a certain spot out in public. So Bulmer's there and Jane receives a gift
of the red shoes, the red heels
and the red heels. And we're given another flashback too, where we see the promiscuous woman who was on the beach. She's at some party, it seems, and she's being watched by someone. And she ends up getting stabbed in the gut a few times and killed. Now, Bulmer, he's waiting for Jane out in this public area. He's, watching the locals, sees some kid like playing around.
Fighting.
He's
Somebody fighting with the girl.
yeah. And we see someone go to the bar and they order a glass of water and start taking pills. Then they approach Bulmer out in public, and he's given a look like he knows this person.
He kind of has a surprised look on his face, but the face of, I know you, but like, I'm shocked that you're here.
Yes. And the knife
Pulls out a knife and stabs him right in the gut.
And it's in the same way that the flashback kill of the woman from the beach was.
Yeah. And you want to know what I picked up on, which I thought was a little funny
What's up?
tidbit? Very, very, very early on, when he first puts on that fedora, Peter asks him, he's like, does it ever fall off?
Yeah.
He starts like shaking his head.
Yeah.
And then, look, you go back, I'll roll it one more time. When he gets stabbed, we get a
Falls
shot
right off.
of it falling off.
Yeah.
So that was definitely intentional. I don't know. I just thought that was a funny little tidbit.
Yeah. Just straight up stabbed right in the open.
And then Jane walks up and sees him dead on the floor, and then
just walks away.
And
it's just like, okay, what the fuck? Like,
and then later on that night, Gianni, he's struggling real bad with feeling like, I think he's responsible with figuring out who the other killer is.
Yeah.
And trying to put these pieces together. So he ends up going back to Cristiano's house, and he's kind of trying to replay what had happened there. And it's during a thunderstorm and everything, so the atmosphere is fucking great here.
Yeah.
So he gets out of the car, scales the fence, goes back to Gianni's place, and then we see that there's a killer in the car who takes the keys out.
Yep.
So Gianni comes back after thinking that he's got it figured out. He figured out who it is, who killed Cristiano. But he gets in the car and the keys are missing.
Yep. He's feeling around, and then nope, not in his pocket, not on the floor, and boom, someone's strangling him from behind.
This is strangulation scene's hard to watch.
It's just like in Child's Play 2 right here with the one guy.
It's like, bang.
Yeah, you're dead. Yeah.
And he looks back. He's got to see who the killer is.
Yep.
Yeah.
And he's got that, oh, it's you kind of look. We don't know who, but But Gianni knew. Yep.
And I mean, he put it together there and then, I mean, once he was like face to face with the killer, it just solidified it more, but not that it really mattered because he got taken out.
Yeah.
But then after this, Peter left Rome, Bulmer's dead, Cristiano's dead, we have Anne left, and we have Jane, and we have the police captain, everything like that as well. So Anne is gathering up Peter's things, I guess, to bring it to London, whatever. And then she gets a phone call from Jane.
Mm-hmm.
And when she gets a phone call from Jane, Jane wants to see her.
Yeah.
And she, wants to tell her about all the bad things that she's done.
She seems under the influence and sedated, like she's took something. She's also talking about taking her own life.
Yeah. You should come here before I kill myself.
Yeah, Anne goes and she's like, all right, Jane, like, wait right there. I'll be over.
And then we have a great scene.
Oh, we've got the most iconic scene in, I think, Giallo history.
Yeah.
It's up there. It's my favorite scene.
It might be mine, man. It's
It's
good.
100% my favorite scene. My
Super
favorite
violent.
kill. It's iconic.
So we're at Jane's apartment, and Jane is sitting at her kitchen table with a gun, facing the door, which we could only assume that she's waiting for Anne.
Yeah.
And she's going to kill Anne. What I think here, and I mentioned this to you yesterday, we were talking briefly, is I feel like there's a bit of a web of love going on here. Okay.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
Because Bulmer and Jane are having an affair. Okay. But Peter and Jane are married, but they're estranged for the last year or two, I think.
Yeah.
But he is also becoming romantic with his assistant, Anne. And we see that because there's a scene where Anne stays the night
Yeah.
and makes a comment like, "Oh, well, after 6 years, we're finally spending the night together." And then Peter says, "Well, 2 of those years, Jane would have been around, and that wouldn't have happened." And then they share a very romantic scene where they have a kiss.
Yep.
And this is the infamous scene where Dario got pissed,
Yeah.
cut the scene because she got too into it.
Yeah.
And she was in, I watched an interview with her, and she was like, "I was just acting. I'm in your movie. I'm going to kiss how I want to."
Mm-hmm.
But, he famously also, John Saxon and Dario Argento got on very well throughout the filming. And then the man who played Peter Neal was apparently very fucking difficult to deal with. However, there's a web going on here.
Yeah.
So I think Jane is going to kill Anne
Mm-hmm.
because she figures out one way or another that Anne and Peter are having an affair.
Absolutely. Because again, she's following Peter. She's at the phone booth a few times outside of Peter's apartment that he's staying. So, and is spotted by Anne. So, she definitely suspects there's something going on between the two. And the way she's sitting at the table with the gun, it's not like she's got it pointed at herself. No, she's got it pointed and waiting for someone to come through.
Yeah. And the only person to come through is Anne.
Yeah.
So, no, it's very interesting how, there's just this jealousy that's going on. But it's hey, you're out and about doing your thing and you're having your fun, but you find out that I'm doing my thing and that makes you jealous, so it's just it's very interesting. But love can really make you do crazy things, and you'll see this here. So here is the infamous Jane death in Tenebrae. So see how she has her gun, the gun mounted?
Oh. Gets the arm chopped off. Here we go.
Oh my
the
God.
Beautiful blood spray all over the wall. Oh my God. Mwah.
And
Gets
that
the
was
axe
said
through
to
the
take
back.
many takes.
It's such a great shot. She's
And
missing
then the
that
killer
arm.
comes in.
Oh, it's so good. It's a mess. I love it.
But don't you feel like out of all the kills that this is the most personal?
Yes, it is, in a sense. Oh, and that axe is just chopping. It's so
That was
good.
definitely the most personal kill in the film.
Yeah.
And, now it's come to the point, we're towards the end of the film, and now we're going to get the reveal of who the killer is.
Yes.
So somebody arrives while the murder is happening, and we can only assume that it is Anne, coming to Jane's apartment. Yep. So they enter the apartment, and unfortunately, they are met with their demise because the killer is in the home.
Right to the shoulder.
Oof.
Ouch. Like the collarbone. Fuck,
Yeah.
yo. It just looks so painful. And they're you could tell they're probably slowly dying.
Yeah, that wasn't quick.
Yeah. The music you're hearing right now, that's used in Massacre Video's intro.
Oh, okay.
Yep. That's it right here. Yeah, so now we got the pan up, the axe, the shoes, and here it is. It's Peter. But
Peter
he's
Neal.
oh, what have I done?
Because he's not in his right mind at
No.
all. That was a crime of passion, I'd say. Because like I mentioned earlier on about the turning point with Bulmer, okay? I feel like once he disregarded the safety of Peter, that's when you saw the change in Peter Neal.
Yeah.
Because of the way that he walked out, the way that the interaction went, and I think that that's when he realized, if he can disregard my well-being, then he can definitely be having an affair with my wife.
Absolutely.
And that proves his suspicion there. And that's why he decides to kill him. And I wonder, like, what the deal with the red heels is. Why does he give them to her and then she goes? Is it so it's like he's also there and he sees, like, well, if she goes there with the red heels, thinking that they're a gift from Bulmer,
then I know that they're sleeping. Yep.
Then I know that
Yeah, that's exactly it. And also, those red heels have the significant meaning because they were the same red heels as the woman in the flashback from the beach who got murdered.
So then after this, the inspector, or Captain Germani, storms in with Anne.
Yeah.
And then it turns out that Peter did not kill Anne, that he killed the police inspector, the female inspector, who was part of the investigation, who was partners with Captain Germani. And the reason why this all happens is because I guess Germani had gotten a call from Interpol, and they spoke about Peter, about how he was attached to a murder that had happened in Rhode Island. Now, he wasn't charged with anything, but he was definitely a suspect in the murder of that woman.
Yeah, they just couldn't find enough evidence.
So Captain Germani started putting things together. And I started to notice this as well, because after Bulmer died, they bring in his...
yeah, is it like his girlfriend or something?
No, it's not his girlfriend.
Or housekeeper?
Housekeeper, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
They bring in his housekeeper for interrogation, and the female police officer who's working with Germani at a point in time goes into his office, and she's like, oh, she's got a lot of information. Apparently Bulmer has had a girlfriend, like a real girlfriend, for a long time. And he's like, okay, he's like, go continue, talking to her. And then there's a letter from, I guess, Jane to John Saxon's character. And Captain Germani realizes there's an affair going on. There's a web going on of all of this shit. Peter's not in his right mind. And, there's the second killer who's on the loose. And, Peter Neal is essentially using Christiani, who is the murderer. He's using the fact that there's a killer at large to his advantage, that there is also another killer. So it's...
Yeah. It says...
it's confusing as fuck, but...
It's a lot going on. This ending really, like with all the reveals, it really hits you over the head with a lot. It's a lot to take in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a lot of explaining, because it's like I'm pulling from here, I'm pulling from there, I'm pulling from all these fucking
And the captain,
areas.
he does give like... He does give an explanation on like how this all ties together. But it's a lot. It hits you with a lot.
Yeah.
Because he starts talking about the motives of Peter and how like he wanted pretty much Cristiano, as if the kills live on under Cristiano. And it's almost like the way he's writing a book.
Right.
Yeah. The way Peter writes his books.
Yeah, he was like trying to essentially like keep the life of a killer continuing.
Yes.
So he can hash out his plan to kill his ex-wife and her lover. So he's using like the previous killer as the scapegoat for his own killings. And then he was going to try to get away with it.
Yeah.
Because he had an alibi now that he was in London.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So... Yep. He kind of had the perfect crime.
Yeah. So all of this is like Anne is in disbelief.
Well, yeah. Well, when Germani comes in, Peter's kind of like in the fetal position in the corner, because I guess he's just having a mental breakdown. So he's the one that's taking the pills, and then the other person who's in the silhouettes in the early on that's having like these psychotic episodes was Cristiano, and he puts him under arrest. He gets up and he's like, the routine. He's like, You're a crime author. He's like, you're under arrest. So Peter gets up. This is a very shocking moment because Peter pulls out a straight razor and starts slicing his own throat.
Yeah. And you're like, oh shit.
That's a way to...
Yeah. And again,
fucking...
Anne is taking this all in, and the shock
and
of
because she loves Peter,
yeah.
you know?
It's crazy because it's like, oh, all right, no one's taking me alive. Boom, takes it. And then, you know, the captain, he's calling for backup. He takes Anne out to the car and, you know, kind of just like consoles with her about everything that just happened. But then he goes back in.
Yeah. Something, I can't remember exactly what it is, but he starts putting the pieces together for Anne.
Yeah.
And, you know, how, you know, Cristiano was killing based off of, you know, the murders that had happened in the book. And there's something that he says that makes him realize, like, this might not be over yet. So he goes inside the house. And when he gets inside the house, we have a reveal.
Yeah. This is...
that Peter is gone.
Yep.
Which is fucked up.
Yeah, because he's like, I just saw this man slice his own throat. And, you know, he reaches down, he sees the blood, and there's the razor blade. And this is great because the captain picks up the razor blade, and he's like, wait, why is it not cutting me?
It's a prop razor.
It's a prop, and there's a button that he presses, and it squirts out the blood.
Son of a bitch.
Son of a bitch, he's gotten away. And this is great. This is a great reveal. Because he's like looking around and shit. And I love the way that this is shot. So now his back's turned to the camera. He leans down. He sees Peter Neal's handkerchief. And boom, Peter Neal's right behind him. What a reveal. Like, that's great. And gets an axe right through the back.
The statue gets knocked over. Yep. Now it's blocking the door. So Peter Neal kills Captain Germani.
Yeah. And Anne hears like this commotion, but the statue is blocking the doorway. So she tries to get in. Let's talk about this statue real quick. It's this weird statue with a bunch of like metal cones that are very sharp.
Yeah, I don't know what the fuck it is.
Yeah, very weird.
Very 80s.
Yeah.
So Peter's waiting for her to open the door, and he's like winding up
ready
to fucking kill her. So let's let this speak for itself. Yep, there he is. He's waiting for her. She's pushing the door open.
Yeah.
She should leave. Here we go.
He's just waiting. He's so ready. He's about to fucking swipe, and boom. Oh, this is so good. Because, yeah, one of the metal cone spikes shoots through as she opens the door and impales Peter to the wall. And there's, like, a lot of blood coming out of his stomach and back. It's great. And Anne's just screaming. I mean, as if this woman hasn't seen enough. That's good.
Yeah, Peter's dead.
Peter's dead, and that's it.
The movie rolls credits on her screaming. Now, she said that, like, those screams were, like, real because she was, like, she had a very difficult time filming the movie.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, because of, like, what was going... There was tension with Dario.
She's like, I'm so over this.
So that was kind of, like, her catharsis was...
Okay.
Screaming
releasing some tension,
releasing some tension, yeah. So that is fucking Dario Argento's Tenebrae. Hopefully we did justice, you know, trying to talk about this film. I think we did all right, but
I think we did okay. Listen, there's a lot to unpack here, and we no longer do the play-by-play like that. We want to talk about what we want to talk about and what we feel is important.
And that's why I think, you know, we tend to jump around a little bit, you know, because it's like, hey, we're jumping here, but it's like, oh, fuck, well, we need to mention this now because we need to say how we got here. So yeah, we'll figure out the proper way to to discuss Giallo moving forward because it is a lot to unpack, but it's like everything is important.
Every detail.
Every detail is important. So it's like, you don't want to do a play-by-play because it just takes too long. Go watch the movie.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, we'd rather you watch the movie than talk about us fucking trying to speak every fucking thing about this. But it's like every kill everything is important. Every little fucking detail is important.
That's the tricky part with talking Giallo with us, for sure. But I think we did all right, and we did this movie justice, and we showed some awesome clips.
Right. And I think that is like really what this comes down to is like, let's showcase the clips. Let's get to where we need to with the killer and then figure it out from there. So we're just riffing with this one for sure, which is fine. I like it. I think Tenebrae is an awesome film, man. I think that it's definitely Dario Argento's best. One of them, at least.
It's definitely one of his best. I'll say my favorite is Phenomena.
Are we talking like his films overall?
I mean, overall and Giallo.
Okay.
So
his filmography.
Filmography overall, my favorite is always going to be Phenomena.
Okay.
I think Tenebrae is second.
Okay.
And I think Opera is third.
Ooh. Nice.
But as far as Giallo goes, and again, I'm not the biggest Giallo guy. I've definitely seen quite a few Giallo. I got to say, this is definitely one of the top Giallo films, without a doubt.
Yeah, it's great.
There's a lot of twists.
Yeah, but
a lot of good
to come
kills.
back after taking time off from it, I think
what a strong comeback, too.
I think it was a strong comeback.
Very strong. Very strong.
Definitely. Like, he came back and made a statement with this film.
Absolutely.
As far as like a kill count goes, I think like out of all of his Giallo films, this has the most kills in it.
It's got a high body count every kill, even though a lot of it's the razor blade kills. It's done in a very mean-spirited, violent way. So for like people like me who enjoy the blood and gore, we get our fix.
You get your fix. And then me, I appreciate the blood and gore, but I appreciate a good mystery.
Yeah.
You get that with this as well.
Mm-hmm.
You get a good story. You're trying to figure out who did it.
Yeah.
Who done it? And the breadcrumbs are there, the first time I watched this film, I wasn't like thinking about doing a podcast years ago when I had first seen this film,
Same.
So I just like passively watched it and I'm like, oh, that's a good movie.
I had gotten it because I had seen the clip of Jane's kill and I said, I got to see this movie.
And then going into, watching it for the show, I did my first watch, which is just like me watching it, right?
Yep,
just
same.
enjoying it, trying to have an open mind to everything.
Yeah.
And then the second watch was the Unsane cut.
Same.
And, the Unsane cut, story-wise, doesn't cut anything down, but it cuts some shots down. It still paints the same picture. We still get to the same points, but it cuts down the violence, unfortunately.
Yeah.
So I watched that, and then I ended up watching it again because it was in my Blu-ray player. So my third watch was me now putting this web together. How the fuck did we get here to Peter Neal killing? Because he wasn't the killer. Like, he was fucked up in the head and he was dealing with some shit, but what flipped in him? And he came to the suspicion that his wife was having the affair. Crime author, how am I going to get away with this? I'm going to kill the killer, and then there's going to be another killer at large. And, I'm going to have an alibi, and I'm going to fly away.
Let me ask you this. Do you think the woman that he killed in the flashbacks was a lover of his who she was being promiscuous, sleeping around, and it's all revealed, and then it's happening to him again? This is why he's...
Ooh, and it's kind of, bringing back some, repressed
memories and stuff.
Ooh, yeah.
I
don't know, man.
Like, once he solidifies that...
Because the flashbacks mean something.
Yes. I think it triggers him once he realizes, like, Jane's been having the affair. It's just like, okay. He snaps.
Very
goes
good.
back.
Very good question. I think that you might be onto something with that. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I really didn't think about the significance all that much, because I don't take Peter Neal as being, you know, psychotic. You know, I mean, it was just another passionate crime, a crime of passion. You know, yeah, maybe she was a lover, and yeah,
and she was sleeping around, and that's why he did it back then, and this is why he's doing it now. And the reason why he had to get rid of Cristiano was because, you know,
well, Cristiano was going to kill him.
Yeah.
Ultimately,
because Cristiano is the obsessed fan that Dario Argento was drawing influence from.
Yes.
Because Cristiano had a lot on Peter Neal. So he's like, all right, well, I got to kill this guy. And now that my wife is having an affair, now I need to kill her. I need to kill Bulmer, and so on, you know?
Cristiano had a file on him, you know? So he had a file on, like, everybody, so.
He knew too much, and maybe he could have exposed Peter Neal's past as well.
That's true.
But yeah, this is Tenebrae. An all-time classic Giallo.
Yeah. So, great film. I think I'm ready to, I don't know, man, get into some final thoughts.
Yeah, let's get into some final thoughts. I'll go first, and then you could go.
Okay.
For me, man, like I said, this is like my number 2 favorite Dario Argento film. I think this is a great Giallo. You get a lot of good kills. You have the black gloves, the straight razor, plenty of blood, great mystery, great fucking twists. It's everything you could want in a Giallo. It's a great one. Definitely a return to form. And, you know, a lot of people, you know, when they're talking about Giallo, they definitely talk about Mario Bava. They talk about Argento, maybe Umberto Lenzi, you know. But, like, Argento's name is so synonymous with the Giallo genre, and this was a strong comeback.
Yeah, and people wanted him to come back, too, because after he was doing, you know, Suspiria and Inferno, he had a lot of his hardcore fans, and they're like, come back to doing the Giallo. Like, we want you. Why aren't you doing those anymore? And, you know, like you said, he was getting tired of it, but he had seen, I guess, that, like, maybe the imitation, you know, wasn't doing anything justice. And he's like, they need me.
Yeah.
And we do, you know, we did.
Hey, man. Like I said, one hell of a comeback. Definitely a top Giallo for sure. And, one of my favorite Argento films. If I had to give it a rating, which I'm going to right now, I'm going to say this is like an 8 out of 10. This is, I mean, there's a lot to unpack towards the end, and it really hits you over the head. And you got to kind of, you know, maybe give it a couple of watches to see how it all ties together. But, man, you really get everything you could want in a Giallo film with this.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, he definitely... he pulled all the stops when it came to this, as like his reintroduction back into it after taking time away. And I mean, I agree with everything you say, man. Like, I think that this is a perfect Giallo. You get everything that you want. You get great, mean-spirited, straight razor Giallo kills, great black glove killer, good twists, very satisfying ending. I love the music. I think the choice of acting was great. I think, you know, I mean, you got like just like the beautiful Italian actresses in this too, you know, of the time. And
again, Jane's death, man, that's what got me hooked to seek out this film. You want to talk about an iconic kill scene death? Right here. This is one of them.
Was it like in kind of like a best kills lineup or something?
Yeah.
Or had you something like that?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I just found out about Tenebrae because of just my exploration into Giallo films, you know? So yeah, no, definitely seek this out. Definitely go check it out. I mean, I watched it like 4 times leading up to this, and sometimes it feels a little bit like a chore once you get to like the second or third viewing of a film, but I feel like this movie's paced out great.
Yeah.
You know, some Giallo end up getting a little bit boring when
that's my problem.
When the protagonist is starting to kind of uncover and try to unravel the mystery a little bit. Because Deep Red can get very boring.
Yeah.
You know, is it a good film? Yeah, it's a great film, but it gets a little bit boring when the pianist is trying to figure out like who committed these crimes, right? But this, it never gets dull. You know?
No.
It'll keep going, and then it'll throw in a kill, and then it'll keep going. It's great pacing. So you know,
and that's always been real quick. That's always been my problem with Giallo is sometimes the pacing can be a little slow and it loses interest. So for me to keep my interest with Giallos is as long as like the kills are good and they're paced out well, then I'm in. You know?
Yeah. No, I'm with you, man. So I appreciate that from this film a lot. You know, I think it redid the wrongs in a sense that like the previous Giallos definitely did have, where they do get a little bit boring in between during the discovery periods of the film. But great film, man. I'm gonna go with you. I'm gonna go 8 out of 10 for this.
Solid.
We're on the same page, man.
Oh, yeah.
So Tenebrae rules.
Tenebrae rules, and the follow-up as far as Giallos goes with Dario Argento, I mean, again, Phenomena, Opera, you know, like
I never did. So my favorite Dario Argento film definitely is Suspiria. I think that's like everybody's.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to say definitely Bird with the Crystal Plumage.
That's one of Danzig's favorites.
Yeah, I love that film, dude. So good, so good. Probably Tenebrae, and then I'd say Opera, and then maybe Phenomena, and then Inferno.
Okay.
Inferno's awesome in the sense that like stylistically it's awesome, musically it's awesome. I don't think Goblin did music in it though. I'm not sure. I don't remember. But substance-wise, it's not the strongest, you know?
Yeah.
But I've actually never seen the third installment to the Three Mothers trilogy.
Neither have I.
Have you?
Mm-mm.
Mother of Tears?
Yeah.
Which she later on did. I'm going to have to check that out. Maybe I'll check that out tonight. I'm going to check that out. But yeah, man. So January Giallo. I'm glad we got to do it.
Yeah.
We'll figure out how to unravel a Giallo in the span of like an hour and a half. So
yeah. And you know, this is our first of a 2-part episode for the month of January. We're gonna follow this up with another lesser known Giallo. So stay tuned for that episode.
So yeah, man, this has been fun. But I think it is time to take us out, Steve. What do you think?
Sounds good. All right. With that being said, the best way you could support Dead with My Friends podcast is going over to our website at www.deadwithmyfriendspodcast.com, where you could see new episodes, past episodes, current merch drops, previous merch drops. If you're watching us on YouTube, be sure to like this video and give us a subscribe. You can follow us on Instagram at Dead with My Friends Podcast. And stay tuned for another January Giallo episode. We hope everyone had a good new year, and welcome to a new year with Dead with My Friends.
Yep, absolutely. So with all that being said, I'm Nick.
And I'm Steve, and we'll see you in the next dimension.
Peace.